On this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV, pack up your gear and join us for a journey to the north. We're traveling through busy airports, snowy runways, over mountain ranges, across bridges, and down long dirt roads. To the state of great faces and great places, South Dakota. For our annual Cajun Invasion pheasant hunt at Bad River Buck and Birds.
When you get into a flurry of pheasants and you can't pick out which one to shoot, so you don't even bother to shoot, it doesn't get much better than that.
Coming up, social distancing in South Dakota. Closed captioning made possible by Explore Kayak Adventure Company. Fishing, sightseeing to photography tours, everything to make your paddling adventure happen. See Explore Kayak Adventure Company on Facebook and Instagram.
Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lanyard. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. We're here at Bad River Bucks and Birds. We're a little north of Draper, population 87 in South Dakota, here for our 6th annual Cajun Invasion pheasant hunt.
It's day one of this year's Bayou Wild Cajun Invasion to Bad River Buck and Birds. Hunters are up early and greeted with a hearty breakfast and a mob of eager hunting dogs.
We kind of starting a shelter belt and we're going to start in corn. And then we're going to adapt, kind of be in the same general area so we can work on these birds are in big fields. So,
Guys, always know where your gun is pointed. It is a lethal weapon. Treat it like one. Treat it with respect. First rule, nothing on the ground, ever. Huh?
we're at standstill. We don't have it.
Throw like conduit.
Strength is the problem.
Well, that's a half inch and 3/4 inch.
A quick safety meeting, then it's off to the fields in a well-weathered, yet reliable, repurposed milk truck. Out in the field, we jump right into the hunt.
Out.
Well-trained flushing labs and skilled guides navigate the group along a slim line of cedar trees,
Good boy, Maverick.
jumping some fast-flying wild pheasant. There were huge differences this year from last year, from the way we set up our hunts to the climate to the dogs to the gun I used. I can't say I liked one more than the other, but it was a little more challenging in some ways this year. Is that flying? No.
There's one.
I felt a huge challenge shooting birds that popped up right in front of me in the tree line. And by the time I tried to shoot, it was just awful. However, I think I preferred it this year because it kind of took some of the pressure off me having more hunters out there. So if I missed, it wasn't as big a deal.
We made our first push. You saw the trees and the setup over there with the corn. There was a lot of birds in there. This is going to be a different kind of a push. We're going to go up towards the hill where we got Martha blocking. We got a lot of corn in here, but we also got some tall grass, but it's wide open. A typical pheasant push lines up with walkers who are there with the dogs, and they'll drive down a shelter belt, a cattail patch, or maybe just a cornfield or a milo field. Along the sides, if you have enough hunters, you put out flankers, and they're kind of along the sides, and they move along ahead of the walkers to catch birds that might try to pitch out either left or right on the sides. Rooster, Cherie! At the very end is where you set up your blockers. A lot of birds will just keep running ahead of the dogs and the flankers, and then when they run to the end of the line where the blockers are, it's what they call a flurry.
When you get into a flurry of pheasants and you can't pick out which one to shoot, so you don't even bother to shoot, it doesn't get much better than that. As far as I know, according to the numbers, in 2014 we reached an all-time record of like 14 million birds across the state, is what they said we had. And by last year, I think we were down to like 4 million birds, which was almost one of the record lows. And just in 1 year, a matter of the right conditions as far as the grass for their nesting, and then thanks to our governor's trapping program that she started last year, our numbers are skyrocketing back up, and if it keeps going upwards, we're likely to hit record highs again in the next few years.
Should I stay this path or move in that way?
Okay.
When the shooting is on target, a 3 rooster per day per hunting limit can often be filled with plenty of time to enjoy the afternoon relaxing at the lodge. It's a 5-star lodge, no doubt. The food is great, the lodging is incredible, the beds are comfortable, but it's not intimidating. It's not highfalutin and fancy. It's just, you feel like you're home here. You'll find a delicious spread of appetizers waiting, followed by a hearty dinner to get you fueled up for tomorrow's hunt. And everybody just felt like they were part of the family. You didn't feel like you were isolated to one group or another. You could walk and make a drink by yourself. You could cuddle up with 17 different dogs. By the way, don't come here if you don't like dogs. They are family, and they are treated as such, as they should be.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemary Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
Want to be seen on a Bayou Wild episode? Sign up for our Cajun Invasion wild pheasant hunt in the remote hills of South Dakota in mid-November. Bad River Bucks and Birds provides lodging, meals, transportation, dogs, and bird cleaning. Details at dontheoutdoorsguide.com.
At Parish Coffee, we wanted to create a coffee brand that people would love to drink every day. Our medium roasts are nice, bright, nutty coffees. Our dark roast coffees are smooth and rich. I think it's important for consumers to recognize that sometimes it's your neighbor that you're supporting. People can go to parishcoffee.com to find the entire selection of coffees.
Don't be that guy, unregistered, who catches a tagged bass and misses out on cash, a boat, or a truck. Don't be that guy. Sign up today at basscashbash.com.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy with skies of gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy with skies of gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
There's an undeniable sense of freedom when you're somewhere with a horizon that seems untouchable. South Dakota is one of those places. And even though this is not our first time in America's 40th state, this is one of the most frustrating sports I've ever tried to do. Even when you figure out what you're doing wrong, you can't necessarily make yourself fix it. And I don't know what fixed it, but I guess a couple boxes of shells, some really good dogs and guides, and a stupid bird once in a while. We always enjoy the beauty of this area of North America. Endless rows of crops, mostly plowed corn and milo, span for as far as the eye can see. Small stretches of cedar trees break up the endless brown hues of South Dakota's rolling hills, which is why this area is such a great habitat for wild pheasant. Sprinkled across the land are small patches of white snowfall, signaling the first hint of winter.
We try and tell people to dress versatile and bring as much clothes as they can possibly fit in a suitcase, because we could go anywhere from 15 degrees to 85 degrees in 1 week.
When you're walking around, and today was a minus, like a 9-degree wind chill factor, and when you're standing there in the cold and the wind's blowing, your hands get a little chilly in your face. If you're walking or flanking, you're getting some exercise, you're moving, you're kind of staying warm.
One of the hunts on the last day was incredibly challenging for me because we were in a field for a long time. The wind was blowing, the wind chill was cold, and The physical aspect of it really was starting to affect me. I like to block because I get to drive the milk truck.
When my dad had his hurt shoulder, that's what he did. He drove everybody around.
There she goes. Well, a hunter and a fisherman. He's a bus driver.
Selling milk.
Rooster. Good shot, Blake.
About 6 more guns.
Oh, at one time? Just at one time?
Well, I seen them filing towards this corner, but that's all right. That's
Pen raised hunting for pheasants is fine because there's a lot of places you simply can't find pheasants. They just don't have them, and it's the only opportunity you've got. But let me tell you, it's night and day, and it's all in the bird. Wild pheasants are much more wary. Of course, they get up quicker, and they got a lot more speed. They're harder to bring down, and they're much more of an adversary than a domestic pheasant. But both of them has its good points and tough points.
As a guide, as a hunter or a fisherman, it's all about the effort. And I think customers that are seasoned in hunting and fishing recognize that. And I think it's important to recognize that because you can't figure out 100% what they're going to do, what these animals are going to do. You can only work with what you have. You know the wind direction, you know how your dogs work, and you know how to set up the field. But there were times where the birds did exactly the opposite of what we were expecting them to do. And some people got hunts that, or shots that they didn't quite expect. Oh, hey! I might have popped them all out of there. It's important to recognize the people helping you because we couldn't go out here and walk in a field and do what we did the last 3 days on our own.
I can't think of any bad things, so I'll just start with all the good things. It's always been fun. I don't know if we've ever had any bad experiences. Everybody's always been super nice, and they treat us well, and we in turn try and treat you as well as we can. Touching it pretty good.
Rooster! As many years as I've been coming up here, I believe this is the 5th or 6th year, there were more birds than I've ever seen up here.
Look, I'm right next to you.
And it's a credit to the governor doing some work. They've added a habitat stamp fee that goes to preserving more habitat, and the results are very glaring that they have got a lot of birds up here this year.
Well, I did grow up hunting with my dad, hunting, fishing, but I would say then I didn't necessarily appreciate the opportunity to spend time with my dad. And what I'll say about pheasant hunting is for the non-quiet hunter and the very social person, it's the perfect opportunity.
Oh, good shot.
You thief! He's a bird thief!
Shooting within bird hunting is very, very challenging, right? Because it's such short reaction times. You got to set up for the shots and be able to make moving shots.
It is very challenging. The terrain is extremely challenging. The weather, the opportunity to work with the dogs, all of those things at the same time for those of us who enjoy the camaraderie. This actually happens to be, for all of those reasons, the one that I like the most, is being out here in upland bird hunting.
I'd say the most difficult part is just adapting to the weather and the conditions, and some days we can't even get around because of the mud, but at the same time we find ways to get out and hunt no matter what.
Yep, that's how they socially distant here in South Dakota.
This country, you just can't find it anywhere else, right? For me to be able to run my dogs in this type of environment and see how well they can perform in this, such enjoyment to be able to see them work.
He's right by your feet.
Right by my feet. Yep. How many did they get out across the road? Because we had a couple of them. Come on, get
I didn't see him go get any over there.
I saw him come back that direction. I don't know if I did the tree. Red bird.
My name's James Loop, and I won the 2020 Chevy 1500. It was first day at roughly 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. I was like, let's stay fishing, and she's like, nah, maybe we need to get back to the launch, you know? Yeah, I had a blast. It was a great summer tournament. Thank you, Super Chevy dealers, for my 2020 Silverado.
Want to be seen on a Bayou Wild episode? Sign up for our Cajun Invasion wild pheasant hunt in the remote hills of South Dakota in mid-November. Bad River Bucks and Birds provides lodging, meals, transportation, dogs, and bird cleaning. Details at dontheoutdoorsguy.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane can do that. When you are cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out.
Fuel for our future.
I'm Miss Louisiana Courtney Hammonds. For more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Don't be that guy, unregistered, who catches a tagged bass and misses out on cash, a boat, or a truck. Don't be that guy. Sign up today at basscashbash.com.
Just a couple of days back in South Dakota, and it's easy to see why an outdoorsman or woman from the South fits in so well here.
We absolutely do have opportunities year-round. We have ice fishing, we have shore fishing, you can go boat fishing, we have wonderful walleye fisheries, we have paddlefish, and if you get into the hunting side, we have prairie chickens, grouse, pheasant, mule deer, whitetails, pronghorn, antelope, we have mountain lions, we have bobcat seasons. You can do everything here.
There is so much fun to be had on this annual trip to Bad River Bucks and Birds, we can't fit it all into one show.
Hi, I'm Savannah Hendricks. I'm 14 years old, and I'm Game Fish and Parks Youth Ambassador, and I live in Vivian, out in the country. I wanted to go hunting more because that is what I love to do, and I couldn't ever, so I was just a little frustrated, and so I decided that, well, maybe I should change that.
Savannah wrote a letter to Governor Nome because she wanted to extend our youth pheasant hunting season. Our public process is Savannah had to petition our Game Fish and Parks Commission, bring it before them, and then they would make the decision to actually change the law to extend that youth season.
It's so much fun just to get out there and just to have fun once in a while. I mean, sometimes you need that break, and hunting can be so relaxing. You know, sometimes people just need that little something right there from hunting or fishing. It's just nice to get out once in a while.
But we'll continue this trip on the next episode, bringing you more adventure, more sportsmanship, and more heritage of our honorary Bayou Wild family to the north.